Here we are. Here we go. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show getting underway for another day. Happy to have you with us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I hope you join us for the full 3 hours, 180 minutes. That's our allotment of time on this Friday, May 17. Is that right? Man, oh man, May 17 already.
Starts at noon every weekday.
2024. What are you looking at me? I got here. I'm here. What are you talking about? Don't you give me the business.
I was talking to the listeners. I was letting them know this show starts at noon every weekday.
Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard the attitude that he had in his voice. Everybody heard it. I heard it. You heard it. We all heard it. It's 12:05. Good afternoon. If I'm the first to say that, then, well, good afternoon. Now, Bell K is sassy, and let me tell you why. If you are listening on 99.7 FM, obviously, if you're in your car, continue to do so. But if you are at a place where you can go over to Super Talk TV, I invite you to do that as well. Because Bell K got his wish. And that's why he's sassy. Yesterday, he wagged his finger at me for dressing professionally and appropriately for the workplace. Saying that I'm making the rest of the staff look bad because I don't wear T-shirts.
It's very difficult for me to chastise a Jody Barrett or a Jack Johnson for showing up in a suit when you're instead of jeans and a T-shirt when you're dressing in a button-down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just asking for your help with that.
So this is very odd. The executive producer of the show is telling me to dress more poorly.
Like me.
Like you. And so I come in today and I said, congratulations, you got your wish. I'm wearing a T-shirt and shorts. Am I supposed to wear shorts? Is that technically off limits?
No.
I mean, seriously, I don't.
No.
Maybe I should check the manual.
I've actually read the manual, and it just says that, it should be situation appropriate. Like if you're with a client.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, if I'm going to visit a client or going to visit, out and about with one of our...
Right, that's one thing. But if you're sitting in the studio and you got your salmon-colored shorts on with your blue T-shirt, you're fine.
Very good. Very good. Yes. Yes, I can feel the hate flowing through you. I love that. Salmon. That is correct. Salmon. So, yes, I do have my salmon shorts on and my multicolored, what is this, Skunk Gully T-shirt on.
Yeah.
And the hat brings it all together. So you're invited to watch on the television side of things. You can also see my flowing locks coming out of the back of my hat. It is LFT 78. That's LFT 78. Locks for Trump Day 78. 78 days I've chosen to love Donald Trump more than I love haircuts. And we will go until we have a new president-elect in the United States of America. It is also day 573 of our proceedings here today. They said it wouldn't last, and it did. 573. Episode 573 is entitled on Super Talk Television. That would be YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch.
Matt Murphy, a true socialist. He steals other people's stuff to give to you.
Oh, that's
Libertarian lunch, noon to 3.
We're doing that later on. So we are... I don't think we've done this as this segment. We've given stuff away before.
Yeah.
But we have a brand new segment at 12:35 debuting called Matt Steals Other People's Stuff. Now, I have 3 separate sets of tickets to give away. And Chris Hand just moments ago, and I was a little bit taken aback because I didn't see the question coming. Hand asked me, why did you get all of these tickets to give away? Why didn't I get any tickets to give away? And I didn't want to tell him the real reason. And that is because I stole them from the prize closet because... my goodness gracious, I feel like our listeners deserve it. So I'm going to take the hit for that so you benefit.
When you choose to be proactive, other people cannot blame you for what they don't have.
And so if these folks are going to leave the prize, I mean, I know where the prize closet is. I've learned over the past 2.5 years, how to finagle the system. And
this is what happens when you don't change the key code on a door.
If you're going to leave it open or at least accessible to me, then so be it. So I have stolen tickets for you. And I can guarantee you will get into no trouble whatsoever if you take advantage of said stolen tickets. Now, what you will do at 12:35, don't do it now, don't do it now. But at 12:35, we're going to have a contest to see who wins these tickets. These tickets are for June 1st. It is the Oliver Anthony Show. And I want to say I'm saying this right. It is at the Caverns. I'll get more details on it in just a moment for you on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. But just suffice it to say that we've got that going on, and we're very excited about it. That is at 12:35 today. We'll give away 3 sets of 2 tickets. So there's 3 pairs of tickets to give away. And we're going to play a little game called How Well Do You Know the Matt Murphy Show? on Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Jay St. Clair in his normal position in the 1 o'clock hour. It is, after all, Friday. Jay is over in Georgia. He's preparing for a racing weekend at a track over there. We'll find out about that. And he will tell us his analysis on the week that was the Donald Trump trial in New York City. Alvin Bragg, this ridiculous prosecution, which I cannot believe. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I cannot believe that I live in an America where 12 people will find the man guilty when you have presented no connective tissue to a felonious crime. You have presented, I defy you to tell me at what point during these proceedings that the prosecutors linked Donald Trump to the felony. In order for it to be a felony, let's think with our brains, liberals. The 34 falsifying documents charges are all misdemeanors, every single one of them, unless and until you link it to another underlying crime. And they've not done that. It is not an underlying crime to run for president of the United States. It's not an underlying crime not to want Stormy Daniels to talk about your alleged affair as you're running for president of the United States. It is not an underlying crime to sign a non-disclosure agreement. It is not an underlying crime to do any of these things. And amazingly, there are, well, fewer and fewer. But there are people that still want to suggest to you that this is going well for the prosecution. They are getting less and less, I can tell you that. It is a travesty of justice that we're having this conversation. I understand I think I understand Trump derangement syndrome possibly more than most, because I've lived on radio every single moment of it. From 2015, when he first made his announcement, on down the escalator. And, initially we watched as CNN and MSNBC and ABC and CBS and NBC, they all treated him like he was a clown, like this was a joke, that it would never happen. And then eventually they started taking him a little more and more seriously as he spoke to the American people and resonated with the American people in such a way that America started voting for this guy. Did you see the numbers that he has going for him with African-American voters? Now,
that's not real. He's a racist. So those numbers can't be real.
Oh, so they're wrong. Now, as the saying goes, plenty a slip between the cup and the lip. Meaning, between the time that you reach for that beverage and the time that it gets to your mouth, a lot of it can get on your shirt. So I'm not counting any sort of chickens before they hatch. And any other cliches you want to use here to designate that it is May 17th. You got May to June, July to August, September, October. There are over 5 months of time between now and then. But the numbers look great for Donald Trump and African-American voters. He got 9% of the African-American vote in 2020. The latest CNN polling, that's important because these are folks that do not couch questions and do not put things in ways that benefit Donald Trump. The latest CNN polling has Donald Trump at 22%. Joe Biden has gone from 89%. Now, these are black voters, Biden versus Trump. 2020, Biden was at 81%, Trump was at 9%. In 2024, right now, Biden's at 69%, Trump is at 22%. Oh, you don't have to believe me. Just listen to our friends at #NeverCNN.
But look at this number for Donald Trump, 22%. Where was Donald Trump at this point 4 years ago in the polls? He was just at 9% of the vote. So he's seen more than a doubling in his support among African Americans. This margin, which was in the 70s, just 4 years ago. Look at where it is now, 69 minus 22. That puts it in the 40s. My goodness gracious. If this held through the general election, obviously we're still months away, this would be by far the best performance for a Republican candidate among black voters in a generation, 2 generations, probably since 1960 and Richard Nixon against John F. Kennedy. That's how long we're really talking about when we're looking at this margin here. This could be a truly historic margin. It's quite a troubling sign for the Biden campaign.
Truly a troubling sign. I don't believe that African Americans, I don't believe that black voters buy into this narrative, this nonsensical, ridiculous narrative that Donald Trump is a racist. Sadly, I believe that some are shackled by the Democrat political plantation. Now, what do I mean when I say that? The Democrats believe in identity politics and block voting. It is the way that socialists / leftists / statists, use your own terminology. It is how they do their business. You create victim classes and oppressed classes. Now, this was born out of a very real thing. I mean, there was a time when Democrats oppressed black people. Let's start there. Democrats largely were responsible for passing laws that oppressed black people in America post-slavery. Somehow, Democrats managed to flip that and convince people that it was the Republicans doing all of this oppression, but it was not. It was the Democrats. Democrats in the South, baby, in the 1920s and 1930s and 1940s. It was the Democrat Party that oppressed black people. And yet, sadly, many Republicans, don't say this, and many voters believe that it was always the Republican Party that was the oppressive class because they've managed to flip the narrative so dramatically. In 2024, I believe we have the smartest voters on planet. I hope. I mean, I go back and forth on it. I understand there's a lot of knuckleheads and snapperheads out there in the world. But I do believe that you have, if you desire it, access to news and information that cuts through the narratives presented by the mainstream media in a way that gets to the truth. And more importantly, especially for African American voters, Joe Biden can't lie his way out of the grocery store. Joe Biden cannot lie his way off the gas pump. Joe Biden cannot lie his way out of the rent payment. Joe Biden cannot lie his way out of the electricity bill. And statistically speaking, if you just look at demographics, African Americans are more likely to be living on month-to-month margins. They're feeling it, folks, in a way that they did not feel it when Donald Trump was president. So you can scream at them that Donald Trump's a racist all you want. Was your life better when Donald Trump was president of the United States or not? And so it is of no surprise to me that these numbers are looking good for Donald Trump because they're cutting through it. I also think that this trial has actually backlashed on the Democrats with regard to African American voters as well. Look, I think you have to continue to move forward. Don't look back. Something might be gaining on you, as Satchel Paige used to say. And so I don't dwell on this fact, but it is a fact that there was a time when justice was not blind when it came to color in the United States of America. I hate it, but it is true that if you lived in the South and you were a white person, you could expect to get a fairer account in a courtroom than if you were black. And if you deny that, then you're just denying reality. We know that it's so. Now, it was so in the 1940s and 1950s and even maybe the 1960s, and I would like to believe that it is not so today. Today, justice is not so much about black and white as it is about green. How much money you got? But that's another subject for another day. But I would promise you that our older community of black Americans here in Nashville, Tennessee, and beyond, they remember those days. They remember those days. They understand what injustice looks like. They understand what getting railroaded looks like. And they are sensitive to it because of America's past history. I believe that they are looking at this case in New York City and they recognize it for what it is. They're like, what the hell's going on with this? Jackhole up there, prosecutor trying to railroad Donald Trump for something he didn't do? I mean, if you want to get down to where the goats graze on it, I mean, look, whether the guy was getting something on the side or not doesn't mean that he should go to jail for 130 years. Come on, man. Can I get a come on, man? I want a come on, man, Mr. President. All right, so that gets us started up. Yeah, well, I'll give you a break, all right. That starts the show today. Obviously, this huge story about Scotty. Have you, Bell, if I asked you yesterday who Scotty Sheffler was, would you have known?
My assumption is and would have been that he probably has something to do with racing or golf.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You wouldn't have really known, but if I'm asking you the question and you don't know, and you're like, okay, what does Murphy like to do on his off time? Okay, racing or golf. Yes, he is the number one golfer in the world. He has won the last 4 out of 5 golf tournaments. He is winning at a pace that we have not seen since Tiger Woods in his heyday some 20 years ago. He is right now the face of golf.
He's pretty good.
He's pretty good. He was also arrested this morning for a variety of charges in a very odd set of circumstances in which
I'm sorry. We're talking about
the PGA Championship's going on right now. Okay?
When did Morgan Wallen start playing golf?
He didn't throw a chair. He just he drug a cop. According to the cops.
Okay, I'm just going to listen to the story because I'm getting confused.
I'll relate it to you in just a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. If you've not heard it, also it's obviously a First Amendment Freestyle Friday. Anyone that wants to jump on the phones or jump on the membersnutrition.com super text line, you're invited to do so. The numbers are the same: 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. Just getting underway. Glad to have you with us this Friday afternoon on Super Talk. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll be giving away some tickets for you to see Oliver Anthony at the Caverns. What is the Caverns? The Caverns is an outdoor amphitheater. Where's the Caverns? You ask. Well, I ask the same thing. It's in Grundy County, Tennessee. Apparently, those who have been absolutely love the Caverns. And Oliver Anthony is coming to the Caverns Outdoor Amphitheater, Grundy County, Tennessee, June 1st. This is going to be a big show. Obviously, Oliver Anthony, a great old school artist, Richmond, north of Richmond. Everybody knows that song, but he does a lot of great tunes. And he will be there. We have 3 sets of 2 tickets that I have stolen for you. Matt gives away other people's stuff is the name of the segment for a reason, because I found other people's stuff and I just take it and give it to you because I think you deserve it. We'll do that.
Because you're a socialist.
Well, sure. I mean, what? They have so many. Have you seen the number of tickets they have? And I think you guys have none.
Prize redistribution.
You deserve some tickets. Just call me Bernie Murphy on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So we'll do that coming up at about 12:35. We're going to play a game. I need a third trivia question. Did you give me a third trivia question? We need one. I have 2.
Well, I don't want to give them away yet, but I know we talked about 2.
Well, we'll talk about it all.
Okay.
We'll talk about it with you. I know that, we've got 2 specific, but the show question, it's a matter of knowing the show. How well do you know the Murphy Show? Sandra says, I believe it's a theater in a cave, Matt. Well, that would make sense. The Caverns, Grundy County, Oliver Anthony. The tour is called Out of the Woods, the Caverns Outdoor Amphitheater. Tickets by the Caverns Amphitheater. Get your tickets today. I don't know what the website is. I probably should. Oh, by the way, coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to ask Jay St. Clair. Well, I'll get into that at 1 o'clock, too. I'm all over the place. I'm a little bit, I have to be honest with you, I'm a little bit tired. Spent way too much time out last night. But that's my problem, not yours. So I'm tired, too, of what's going on around the college campuses around the United States of America. And at commencement addresses particularly, we have seen a growing number of protests that bleed over into the ceremonies to the point that people cannot enjoy the ceremonies. For those who do not know, Joe Biden is set to make an appearance at Morehouse College this weekend. Morehouse College is a historic black university. And the Morehouse College president had a few things to say about the possibility of protest at the event in which President Joe Biden would be offering the commencement. Now, I think it is much to watch television just to see Joe Biden stand on a stage for more than 10 minutes. Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. You don't have to curse about the whole thing. I'm being honest. You're 81 years old or thereabouts. You obviously have lost a lot in terms of the upstairs department, and now we're asking you to stand on a stage in the hot sun and offer an address, prepared remarks. I want to see it. Yeah, well, I want to see how this plays out, because at Morehouse University, they're now saying that they will not remove anyone who lashes out against the President of the United States. They've said that. The president of Morehouse has now said that if well, I'll tell you what, I'll let you hear from the president coming up right after our contest. But David Thomas, who's the president of Morehouse College, is now saying that they're not going to take anybody out. If people are causing a ruckus, any sustained disruption, you know what they said? They've said they're going to do? They're going to stop the ceremony and go home. That if anyone... Now, at first blush, this seems like a get tough approach to some of these protests. But my secondary thought is, do you think this is going to stop anyone? You've actually given these people a roadmap for success. You've told them exactly what they need to do. You've told them they will not be removed from the ceremony. I'll give you the audio coming up in just a couple of minutes on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. In the meantime, 12:31, line them up. We're about to do a contest, and you're invited to participate. 615-737-9986. All you have to know is Stuff About the Murphy Show on Super Talk. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy, and I'm proud to tell you about the mold treatment that is being offered by the company that you trust most when it comes to your foundation, your waterproofing, and any sort of concrete leveling or repair that you need, and that is USS. USS stands for United Structural Systems. USS has for years. Pardon me, I had to sneeze. And I just did. USS has stood for years for helping you keep your foundation solid, helping you keep the water out of your home, and now they are offering mold treatment at USS. Perfect timing with the humidity and all of the rain that we've had in our community. It might be that mold in your crawl space travels up into your house. Maybe there's mold in this room because I'm sneezing quite a bit. One way or the other, perhaps we can get USS to do some mold treatment in the studio. Turn your crawl space into a healthy space with United Structural Systems' complete microbial growth treatment. They don't just treat the mold, they treat any type of growth that could be eating away at your floor joists. It's called the RTE solution. That is remove, treat, and encap, because it does no good to remove the mold if it's just going to come right back. And right now, through June 30th, you can get $500 off any purchase of the RTE mold treatment from USS. You heard it here first. $500 off any purchase of the RTE mold treatment from United Structural Systems. Call now before humidity increases and the mold in your crawl space continues to get worse. Breathe easier tonight knowing that you've made the call today. Your crawl space can be a healthy space with USS and the microbial growth treatment. Call today at 615-488-7855, 488-7855, or USSTN.com. All righty, Oliver Anthony is coming to the Caverns, which is, I am told, a beautiful venue in Grundy County. I've never been. There's an indoor venue inside of the cave, which is why they call it the Caverns. There's also an exterior venue, the amphitheater, and I believe Oliver is at the amphitheater. It's on June 1st, and it's time for an episode, our premiere episode at 12:37 on this Friday edition of what we are calling Matt Gives Away Other People's Stuff. So I go down to the prize closet, bust down the door. Whatever I find, I stuff into my pockets. I bring it up here and I give it away to you. That's the way this works. 615-737-9986. I give that telephone number, although the numbers are chock full of listeners that want to win tickets to Oliver Anthony at the Caverns. All right, Oliver Anthony is coming on June 1. And you can find out all the information you need at our website, 997WTN.com, amongst other places. We have 3 sets of tickets to give away. Here's the way that we're going to do it. Do I have any, can you give me a little something, a little flow music down there, a little something to make us feel good about what we're doing? Yeah, that's good. That's good. So all you have to do is know your Matt Murphy show. I will go to a caller. I will say hello. They will say hello. We'll do the pleasantries. And I will ask a question about our show. And if you answer that question correctly, you are a big winner. You are a big winner. All right, let's do this. First up on the contest today is Amy out of the Borough. Hello, Amy. How are you?
Hey, Matt. I think we're all big winners, though, if we get to talk to you.
Well, that's very sweet of you. Your day going well so far?
It is. How about yours?
I'm doing good.
I have a question.
Yes, Belle.
Does
Belle has a question.
sucking up to the host increase your chances of winning?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
There's no question about that.
No, we love 99.7.
Yeah, see, there you go. Do you love Oliver Anthony? That's the question.
We do. We really do.
Well, you're a little closer to Grundy County and the Caverns if you're down there in the borough, so this should be easy peasy as long as you get the answer to the question correct. Are you ready for the question, Amy?
I hope so.
All right. Question number 1 about the radio show. We often talk about Bell K and his 2 cats, but we've also noted that Bell has an emotional support cobra. What is the name of Bell K's emotional support cobra?
I'm a loser. I don't know that one. Sorry.
Oh, Amy. I wanted you to win so badly.
What's your best guess?
Fido. I have no clue.
Fido, which is great. That is not correct. Do we have an We need an We need a Family Feud if we're going to do these contests. I'm so sorry, Amy. That is incorrect. And that's pretty good. I'm duty bound to move on to Mickey, who is in Hermitage. Mickey, good afternoon. How's it going, buddy?
It's going. I'm working. It's nice and cool out, and I'm ready to go to Grundy County.
I love it. I love that. Oliver Anthony is ready to have you. So I've got 2 tickets for you, and all you have to do is answer a question. You ready for that question?
Probably not, but let's go.
Every Friday, we do a favored segment on the Matt Murphy Show called Fry J with my good friend, Jay St. Clair.
Yes, sir.
Jay St. Clair went to the University of Tennessee as an undergraduate. He grew up in Tennessee, in Dunlap.
Right.
And he went to law school at a particular law school in the United States of America. Can you tell me, Mickey, what law school that is?
Oh, dude. Man, it's one of 2, and I'm going to go with Harvard.
I'm sad to note that that is incorrect. What I love is that the number of people that are playing along on the Members Nutrition Super Text line that are just kind of screaming at their radios because they know the answer. It's very, very funny. You got to call in. You got to call in, folks. Jennifer is next in Antioch. Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
Hello.
Are you excited about the possibility of going to the Oliver Anthony Show?
I am.
All right. Very good. I'm going to ask you one. I'll tell you what. I'm going to make this as easy as possible. I want to give something away, Jennifer, and you seem the type that you deserve to win something today. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We have a segment called Friday Mac Attack with our own illustrious Mac Morey, who is our afternoon newsman on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. That's right. What is our nickname for Mac Morey?
Cougar Chow.
Cougar Chow's correct! Woo!
Yes!
Just me?
I was hoping I would get that question.
And why was that, Jennifer? Why are you hoping to get that question?
Because I knew the answer.
Well, good for you. That is absolutely correct. You go on hold. Jennifer Bell's going to get some information for you. All of the winners of the Oliver Anthony tickets will have their information sent into the caverns, and our illustrious promotions director, Rich, will take care of getting you to Will Call. So you'll have all of these tickets in your name at Will Call, so you don't have to come by here and get the tickets. There's no electronic transfer either. So that's ticket number one giveaway, and that is number one down. All right, you've got Jennifer over there. Let's go to Jason in Nashville. Hello, Jason. You ready for your question, sir?
I've known all the answers so far. Let's go.
Well, now I got to come up with a different question because
No, you don't.
I mean, I feel like I can't recycle them to you, Jason, because you've told I was going
Sure
to
you can.
I was going to recycle one, but then you told me, so.
Come on,
All
it's
right.
spicy and Yale.
All right, I've got a good one for you. You'll know this. And don't give away answers. I might have to recycle these, Jason. Gosh.
No, you said you were not going to recycle.
Well, not
if
to you.
Recycling is not good enough for me, it's not good enough for anybody.
When Matt Murphy first got to Nashville, Tennessee, before moving out to the beautiful Mount Juliet, he lived for a time.
In the ghetto.
Tell me the name of the place that I lived when I first moved to Nashville.
I just know it's the ghetto. I don't know the trailer park's name.
Tell me what they sold, and I'll give you credit.
What they sold?
What I always said. I said it was a particular type of place, and they sold a particular type of product.
It was a trailer park. I'm going to go with math.
Gosh, I thought we were going to be fine there, Jason, and then we were not. That's right. All right, I am gonna have to start recycling them. I thought these were easy. I thought these were good. Jack is in the borough. Hey, Jack, how are you?
Hello?
Hey, Jack, you there?
Hello?
Hey, Jack, you like Oliver Anthony?
Yes, I do. It's Zach, but yes, sir, I sure do.
All right, very good. Well, I have an opportunity for you to get 2 tickets to the Caverns on June 1st. You ready?
Yes, sir. I would love it.
All right, this is our. I'm going to ask this question. This is the last question I got. Then I got to start recycling them. I only came up with 6. So
Okay, I get a new one.
you get a new one, but this is so easy. It's so easy. You ready, Jack?
Yes, sir.
I lovingly refer to Bell K on the Matt Murphy Show as Headless Bell.
Okay.
Why?
As Headless Bell.
Why do I call Bell K, our executive producer, Headless Bell?
Oh no, I knew the last 2 answers.
Oh no!
But
I feel like I'm. No, I gotta goodbye, Jack. That's it. He didn't know. If he doesn't know, he doesn't know. I love you, Jack. I love all of you. Wendy says this is the easiest game show in the history of game shows. I can't give away these tickets. Thank you, John. John's correct. You're all correct. Everybody on the these 47-26, and these people are killing me. All right, we're going to have to start recycling them. Kathy is in Lewisburg. Hello, Kathy.
Hey.
How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm well. Your day going good so far?
Oh, yeah.
Are you a fan of concerts?
I am.
Off the top of your head, what's your favorite show that you've ever been to? Can you think of one?
Oh, I'm going to have to go with Slipknot.
Slipknot. Oh, I like that. Kathy. Yeah, but you know what? Bell K just popped up. His head just kind of popped up. What? Slipknot. Good for you. All right, you a fan of Oliver Anthony? You ready to go?
Yes.
All right, let's recycle one. My good friend and gambling buddy and life consultant Jay St. Clair makes a weekly appearance on the show. We call it Fry Jay. He is a legal correspondent, and he went to law school where, Kathy?
I'm pretty sure it was Yale.
He went to law school. Where, Kathy? Yes, that's correct. All right. Hey! Kathy told me to yell. And so I did. Congratulations, Kathy. You're the big winner of tickets to the Oliver Anthony Show on June 1st. One more set to give away, and then we're done with the contest. Where do you want me to go, Belle? I'm going to make it your choice. Your choice.
I will say go to, let's, 3.
Line 3, Michael is in Bowling Green. Michael, you're the big winner, at least according to Belle K, but you decide if you're the winner if you get this question correct. Are you ready, sir?
I hope so.
By the way, before I do that, you doing okay today, Michael? Everything going well?
I'm doing better than I deserve, sir.
Well, that's great. That's fabulous. All right, Michael, it's let's focus on Mr. K for a moment. You tell me the name of his emotional support cobra, and you are going to the Oliver Anthony Show.
God. I have no idea what that is. I was hoping I was going to get a softball.
I feel like this one's a softball. I feel like this is...
Let's say Rosie O'Donnell. Why not?
I am. You know what, Michael? If it wouldn't be unfair to the other contestants that have missed questions, I would give you credit solely for the offer and the effort. Rosie O'Donnell is incorrect. Let's go to Chris in Nashville. Chris, you have an opportunity to win these final tickets to the Oliver Anthony Show. Are you ready to go, buddy?
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, let's make it easy. Let's make it simple. Let's just do this thing. I accused my good friend Tommy Cunningham at the Grand Old RV Resort of selling a particular product at the Grand Old RV Resort. I did this. That's right. When I lived up there in Gibbons. Bat meat is correct! Yes! And Belle just leaves me hanging. I feel like an idiot being the only one to clap. But whatever. I'm clapping, and you are a winner. Chris, congratulations. Oh, you're not busy. You got 28 lines ringing. You got 13 things going on. You got a television side of things. You're trying to tell contestants
Who was it that just won?
Chris just won on line 4.
Got it.
Won our final tickets. Congratulations to all who played. I think it was a fairly contested thing. We went through a number of incorrect answers, and we got a lot of correct answers. Thank you for listening to the show as you do. We appreciate you, and we appreciate the opportunity to raid the prize closet and give away others' people's stuff on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Back right after this. I just hit myself in the eye with my headphones. Oh, my goodness gracious. Who says this isn't a contact sport, this talk radio?
I've done that.
I was stretching them out to go on my head, and they slipped out of my right hand and hit me right in the eyeball. And, man, it hurt. It smarts. 615-737-9986, 1256. Thank you to all of the participants. And Matt Murphy gives away other people's stuff. We'll do another round of that at some point down the road, and we appreciate all of you for participating. And for those of you on the Members Nutrition Super Text line that would like to remind me that you knew all of the answers, well, you got to get in to win the tickets. Oliver Anthony at the Caverns coming up on June 1st. Wendy says we need more trivia days, and I would agree with you. It's nice to lighten the load. It's been a hell of a week, hasn't it? I mean, a lot of things going on. Now, Belle, you asked me to explain this off air, and I'm going to do it on air, as I understand it. So the PGA Championship is going on. It's one of the 4 majors in golf, and even those that don't pay attention to tournaments week to week oftentimes will turn their attention to these tournaments during these bigger weeks. So Scotty Sheffler is the number 1 golfer on the face of the planet. He won the Masters last month. He is, a winner of 4 out of the last 5 tournaments, which is just pretty darn good. So his first round, he also just had a baby, or his wife just had a baby. He and his wife just celebrated the birth of their first child. He was noted as saying his last tournament was at the Masters, and he's been waiting for his wife to have her baby since then. But he was noted for saying at the Masters, which is the most prestigious tournament on planet Earth, he was asked about it, and he said, if I get the call that my wife is having her baby, I'm leaving. And they said, well, what if you're leading on Sunday? And he said,
what part of I'm leaving don't you understand?
and it was very sweet. I mean, Scotty Sheffler seems to be one of the nicest guys on planet Earth, a good Christian man who has his priorities straight. And he said, I've been blessed to win the Masters in the past. I don't have that in front of me. I've never had a child. There will never be another opportunity to have my first child. I'm leaving.
Everybody's a good Christian until they start throwing chairs off the roof of a bar.
Or until they start running people over, which apparently...
is that what he did?
Well, here's the deal. So there was a tragedy at Valhalla in Louisville, Kentucky this morning. At about 5 a.m., one of the volunteers who was working at a merchandise tent was crossing the road trying to get to the property to get in position to begin the day. This is at 5 a.m. in the morning. A shuttle bus shuttling either spectators or other vendors or volunteers ran over and killed that pedestrian. That's very sad. It's a tragedy, and your heart absolutely goes out to the family members of the lost loved one. But because of that, and because there's really only one way in and one way out of Valhalla Country Club, it caused a tremendous traffic backup. And it's with that in mind and all of the players being caught in that all of the dominoes began falling. I'll tell you the rest of the story coming up in just a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll also welcome Jay St. Clair and officially commence Friday. Get your questions in here, 615-737-9986. Back in a moment. 1 down, 2 to go. Murphy Show. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk with you for a moment about very serious matters involving your personal safety and the safety of your loved ones or the safety of people around you in the workplace. Let's talk about Defense Systems for a moment. Defense Systems is a life safety and security consultation firm based right here in Middle Tennessee. They specialize in physical security consultation and active violence mitigation training. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw, Bell, but we just got the memo that we have some new training coming up from Defense Systems right here at Cumulus Nashville. That's right. Our own company utilizes this very valuable training in helping people be aware of what's going on around them and aware of how to act and react in the unlikely event that you have workplace violence coming to your workplace. Whether it's a school or a corporation, a healthcare facility, a law firm, a manufacturing facility, or a radio company like ours, Defense Systems can assist in helping you understand exactly what to do, what not to do, how to prepare, how not to prepare. It's all about reaction. It's all about mitigating the possibilities. Now, the chances of you experiencing something like this are very, very low, but they're not zero, which is why I say hope is not a plan. It is time to get trained, folks, with Defense Systems. Empower yourself and do this for the people around you, whether it's a school, a church, a place of business, or any place that people gather. 615-236-6484, 236-6484, defensesystems.com. That's defensesystems.com. All right, here we go. Just before we get to Fried J, I want to finish up a conversation we were having last hour and get everybody caught up from the Libertarian Lunchtime Hour. Hour number 2 of the Murphy Show starts right now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's a little rainy, a little overcast, a little spitty out there, and it's expected throughout the duration of the day on this Friday. And I don't know. I admit that I have not been listening closely enough to know what's going down tomorrow and Sunday and over the weekend, but hopefully it's sunshine and roses for everybody involved. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, brought to you in part on the Super Talk television side of things by our good friends at U.S. Pest. I'll talk more about those guys in a moment. Thank you to U.S. Pest for doing what they do on the Super Talk TV side of things. Also, F&M Bank brings you the Super Talk text chat. You can do that. It's episode 573 over there and over here on the radio side of things. So let me finish this up, and we'll welcome in Jay St. Clair, who's on location today out of my beautiful home state of Georgia. I came to Tennessee from Georgia via Alabama for 20 years. So here's the update. A lot of people are asking about this, so let me just give you the background. And I'm going to ask Jay St. Clair his thoughts on this from a legal perspective. I don't know that we have all the facts of the case in order to determine whether or not the police officer overreacted, but it feels like he did. So, Bell, you were asking. So, about 5 o'clock this morning, an incident occurred completely unrelated to Scotty Sheffler or anybody else for that matter, and it led to the tragic killing of a pedestrian outside of Valhalla Country Club. The police shut the roads down. Those roads that they shut down were the only way in or out of Valhalla Country Club. And so as they were investigating the fatal accident, and God bless the family of the individual that died in that accident, the PGA, who runs the tournament, reached out to the local police in Louisville, who were investigating, and said, we understand that you've got busy things going on and very important things going on, but nobody is being allowed into the – can we at least get the players and the officials in here? Is there a way to do that while you investigate this? And apparently the cops said yes. They said, if you go in this lane of traffic and if you're in a courtesy car, like all of the players are offered a courtesy vehicle. Now, they can choose to drive themselves or they can have somebody else drive them. Typically, the players drive themselves. But they're given like a Buick or a Caddy, and it has a magnetic on the side that says tournament player on it. So it's well identified as an official car. So the PGA told the players, hey, if you're looking to get access in here, go in this lane, do this thing, and they'll let you in. Scotty Sheffler was doing as he was told. They also kicked the tee times back about an hour and a half. They adjusted the tee times, and we're really not aware whether Scotty Sheffler knew that or not, But it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and his tee time was originally scheduled for like 7:40. And for a golfer, that's running late. So there's no indication.
Plus you add in the fact that this is televised, and it's causing all kinds of a boondoggle, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can't get cameramen in place, I mean, just forget about the fans for a minute. Think about the amount of people that it's going to take to get in place to do all of those things and to run the tournament. So it's a big quack. Scotty Sheffler, by all accounts, was doing what he was supposed to do and what he was told to do. The reports that I have seen are that fairly close to the property, he got behind a bus. The bus was blocking the lane that he was told that he was to go to get into the facility. And so he kind of went around the bus to the right and got up on the curb. And as he was doing that, cops kind of started running toward him, telling him to stop doing what he was doing. He got to the point around the bus, and at that point, he had his window down, and according to Sheffler, he was showing his identification. The cop obviously didn't see that and kind of came in on him into the window. As he was doing that, Sheffler accelerated for 5 to 10 yards, and he, quote-unquote, drugged the officer. Stops the car. The officer, according to a reporter on the scene, immediately pulled open the door, very, quote, aggressively pulled Scotty Sheffler out of the vehicle, put him against the vehicle, handcuffed him, and immediately took him to a cop car.
$1,000 says the charges get dropped.
No, I'm not taking that bet. You know why?
Because I'm right.
Because you're right. These charges are getting dropped. So they charged him. Now, obviously, we can't have people dragging cops. Scotty Sheffler says that he thought he was doing the right thing. He thought he was doing everything that he was told to do. And he did not realize that the police officer was trying to stop him. As a matter of fact, I have the official statement from Scotty Sheffler and his team. Scotty Sheffler's statement, and rightly so, focuses on the loss of life with regard to the individual that passed away. His attorney's statement is a little bit different. Statement from his attorney says, in the early hours of the morning, in advance of his tee time, Scotty was going to the course to begin his pre-round preparation. Due to the combination of a traffic event and a traffic fatality in the area, it was a very chaotic situation. He was proceeding as directed by another traffic officer and driving a marked player's vehicle with credentials visible. In the confusion, Scotty is alleged to have disregarded a different officer's traffic signals, resulting in these charges. Multiple eyewitnesses have confirmed that he did not do anything wrong, but was simply proceeding as directed. He immediately stopped upon being directed to and never at any point assaulted any officer with his vehicle. We will litigate this matter as needed, and he will be completely exonerated. The police are charging Scotty Sheffler with assault in the second degree, criminal mischief in the third degree, reckless driving, and disregard of signals from officers directing traffic. 4 separate charges. You're saying $1,000 they are all dropped. I agree. I think they'll drop all the charges too. I think Scotty Sheffler will offer to pay for the whatever medical expenses. The officer went to the hospital. Apparently it was a Detective Gillis. And Detective Gillis stopped the subject, attempted to give instructions. They claim the subject refused to comply and accelerated forward, dragging Detective Gillis to the ground. Detective Gillis suffered pain, swelling, abrasions to his left wrist and knee. He was transported to the hospital for further medical treatment by emergency personnel. Detective Gillis's uniform pants, valued at approximately $80, were damaged beyond repair. That would be the criminal mischief charge, by the way. Criminal mischief is destroying other people's property that is not your own.
What's the death of a pedestrian when you got somebody's pants ripped?
It's a little bit of an overreaction. Let's find out what our good friend, life consultant, legal correspondent, and gambling buddy has to say about this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday. I like that modern take on the. I like that modern take on it. It's good. Put your hands together, boys and girls, and welcome straight from the track our own Jay St. Clair. Hello, Jay. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, Matt. If I were any better, I'd be sitting at a racetrack right now.
Huh?
Oh, wait a minute. I am.
Tell everybody before we get into any of this law stuff, and there's a lot of folks that are already lining up with their legal questions. Tell everybody where you are.
Yeah, so I'm at a place called Atlanta Motor Sports Park. It's about an hour north of Atlanta. It's right outside of Dawsonville, Georgia, coincidentally enough, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm over here for another one of these endurance races. We got practice today. We'll have a race, a 7-hour race tomorrow, and an 8-hour race Sunday. And so I'm looking for it. It's going to be a little bit rainy, and, we run rain or shine. So it's going to be fun. It's good. We got 3 cars over here, a lot of guys. It's, this is my true passion. I love practicing law, but I really love driving race cars.
Well, you're good at it, and you got a great team, and you've hooked up with some good guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing if you can beat Jerry Weld on the track, Jay. That's what I'm looking forward to. And that is a comment reserved exclusively for the host of this show and my best friend Jay St. Clair, but I don't care.
No, that's right. It is so funny, Bill, because there's 2 guys that own these teams. They go back 20 years. They're very competitive with each other. And so the other guy has brought in a real professional race car driver, ringer.
A ringer. He brought in a ringer.
I mean, here's the guy that has won a race that's been won by Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott. He's that level of a race car driver. So we're going to have a fun weekend. It's
going to be fun. Have you been to, or are you planning to go to the Dawsonville pool room?
Yeah, no, I drove right by it yesterday, and sure, I got to stop in there sometime and get a bully burger.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if they'll sound the siren for you, Jay, or not. But if you win the race, I'm going to strongly encourage the sounding of the siren. So
I like it. Well, you got to win first.
That's right. Jay, what do you make of? I don't know that there's a lot that we can make of this situation. It just seems like an awful miscommunication. And dare I say, and look, I'm here to support the blue. I believe in the men and the women that do the hard job, and I'm not casting aspersions, but it feels like maybe there was a bit of an overreaction on the part of this police officer, and just certainly some miscommunication. Any other thoughts on this Scotty Sheffler deal?
I do have this thought, and this will probably aggravate you a little bit, but this is a really good example of how the law works, the difference in black and white and how it gets applied in the real world. I'd say the law is this, man. Well, let's say that Officer A tells you to do something, and then 5 minutes later, Officer B tells you to do something different, and it contradicts what Officer A told you. And then you don't do what Officer B told you. Here's a law enforcement officer right in front of you saying, stop your car and get out. And you say, no, that's not what the cop 5 minutes ago told me to do, so I'm disobeying your order. That's probably a crime.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, that's a crime because it's against the law to disobey an order from a police officer. So technically, that's probably a crime, but you get in front of a judge, and that's when I love that statute of Lady Justice holding the scales out in front of her, and it's that balancing thing in the law. And I think that any judge looking at this would say, technically that may have been a violation, but considering all of the facts and circumstances, I'm going to turn you loose. I would not take Bell's bet because I think he wins that every time.
Yeah, I think this is followed up by an apology by Scotty. This is what I predict. Scotty Sheffler will apologize to the officer. He will apologize to everyone involved. He will say, I misunderstood what I was supposed to do. I am so sorry that this happened. I'm going to pay for his medical bills. I'm going to pay for his pants, and I think they'll let it go.
Yeah, no, that's great. I reckon he split his pants. I saw where you posted that on X. And I'm like you. I want to know exactly what happened to the pants.
You think he split his britches, Jay?
I do, because I think he was hanging on to the car handle or something, and then he moved forward 5 yards. I think it embarrassed him. It split right down the middle.
That may be why he was so mad and ripped him out of the car and put him in cuffs. He cuffed him and he stuffed him, Jay. He cuffed him and he stuffed him. Just like old Barney Fife. Well, we'll see how that turns out. But obviously, it did not affect Scotty Sheffler enough that he got to the course. Complete lack of preparation, out of his routine. He gets to the course, gets to the first tee, and he birdies the first hole.
That's just ice water in his face. I mean, if my practice is a routine is up, what a creature of habit I am. I'm going to skull the first tee ball, right? Not professionals. I mean, that's just absolutely remarkable.
Well, Jay, you are a professional in the legal sense, and we've got a couple of legal questions to ask you about. I know that your mind's on the. And by the way, just as a side note, Jay, would you like to know before I go to that, because I just looked it up? Would you like to know what Scotty Sheffler's score is right now through 14 holes?
I don't have a clue, but I very much want to know.
He is 4 under par through 14 today. He is 8 under par for the tournament. He's tied for third place. He's 4 under after being arrested this morning for dragging a police officer down the road.
World-class athletes have this ability to concentrate, Matt. It's just remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable.
Well, look, I know you like to downplay your abilities behind the wheel of a race car, but you get it, right? I mean, you get behind the wheel of the race car, and you know that it's not just a matter of wanting to succeed. In a race car, when you're doing what you're doing, it's also your personal safety that you maintain that focus, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. Can you hear the cars in the background?
No, not a lot. I hear you good, though. You sound better than you sound in your basement.
Well, I may have to start coming over here to the racetrack every week.
So everyone is speculating on what happened to the officer's pants.
Uh-huh.
And there's apparently on the Members Nutrition Super Text line, smart money is he did not split his pants.
Oh, he spoiled them.
He did something else that has an S and a...
Uh-huh.
Maybe. We call it spoiled them.
Yeah, spoiled them.
Jay, the last week in this Trump trial, I don't know that I ever thought that I would hear somebody on #NeverCNN, a network that hates Donald Trump, say what I heard them say on CNN. I want to play, for those who have not heard this guy, I want to play this for everyone. And I think you'll be able to hear it too, Jay. But this was on CNN, and the hosts on the show, their faces when this legal correspondent said this about cross-examination of Michael Cohen. This came from yesterday's analysis of what happened in the court. Listen.
I don't think I've ever seen a star cooperating witness get his knees chopped out quite as clearly and dramatically as what just happened with Michael Cohen. I've certainly seen very effective cross-examinations of cooperating witnesses. I've seen aspects of their story cut into and called into question, but this goes to the heart of the allegation here, that phone call on October 24th, and it looks to the jury and to Anderson Cooper and Kara Scannell and Judge George Grasso, who are all in the courthouse, that was a devastating moment.
So that's on CNN, where this lawyer goober, this talking head lawyer, but he said, I don't think I've ever seen a star corroborating witness have his legs chopped out from under him in the way that Michael Cohen did. What's your take on all of this, Jay?
It's just awful. We talked about this last week, Matt, and I'll repeat it for those that weren't listening then. It's an embarrassment. I love the legal system. I love being a lawyer. I love what I do. I have great respect for the American legal system. This is it at its worst, Matt. It's just it at its worst. It's like the trial in To Kill a Mockingbird, or that was fiction. This is real, and it's just awful. It's the legal system at its worst. A case that never should have been brought. But if brought, the judge should have thrown it out. But if the case is going to be tried, it should have been tried by the rules of evidence. Best I can tell, there have been no rules of evidence applied. Any side can say anything they want to. And it's been about everything except Donald Trump committing a crime. I mean, they talked about everything except Donald Trump committing a crime.
I feel a little bit like a broken record repeating this almost on a day-to-day basis, and I feel the same when you and I talk on these Fridays. But if you are to accuse him of these 34 falsifying documents charges, that's one thing. That's a misdemeanor. Each one of them is a misdemeanor, and the statute is run on those. But in order to bring it, you have to say, well, he was doing this, but he was doing this to either commit or conceal another crime.
Yeah, that's
the only way that you can be in court. Yes. And the prosecution has not told anyone in court what that other crime is.
No, and I don't know if they ever will. And so here's what's going to happen. Here's the two big things coming up, man. The first big thing is, because it looks like the prosecution is about to rest, this may be the last witness. And so here's the question. Will Trump testify?
Yeah.
So that's the first big question, number one. Well, I'll tell you what will happen before then. His lawyers will ask the judge to throw the case out of court.
So walk us through that. In a moment, we've got to take a quick time out, Jay, and I'll beg of you to be on hold for just a moment at the racetrack in Dawsonville, Georgia. 124. When we come back, I want Jay to walk us through, I think it's called a directed verdict. I think I have that right. Maybe I have that wrong. Jay will correct me if so. It's the Murphy Show Friday edition on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy reminding you that on June 1st at 10 a.m., we want to see you at the Glock store. It's the 4th annual open house. There are giveaways galore. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to demonstrate to you just how easy it is as I talk to you live and in person about the Glock store, how easy it is to find out more information about the Glock store and their big event. I just went to glockstore.com. You go to glockstore.com and you'll see, save the date, June 1st. You'll see some friendly folks who were there last year, and photos are available from last year's proceedings. And you will see some of the incredible giveaways that are going on June 1st. They'll have music, they'll have food, they'll have beverage, and they'll have plenty of accessories and ammunition and giveaways and whatnot in the world of the Second Amendment. Thousands of dollars worth of raffle prizes will be given away, like red dot optics, tritium night sights, weapon lights, etc., plus a $1,700 Glock will be given away. Free coffee, free donuts, free ice cream, shooting competitions with valuable prizes, all available. You can meet local congressmen and radio celebrities like Dan Mandis and Chris Hand, plus I'll be there. It's the Glock store, June 1st, starting at 10 a.m., their 4th annual open house. It is the big one. You don't want to miss it. Go to glockstore.com. All right, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A number of you calling in with questions of our man, Jay St. Clair, our legal correspondent, good friend and gambling buddy. We'll get to those questions coming up momentarily right after the bottom of the hour. Also, you can get your questions in on the membersnutrition.com super text line. Several of you asking questions about this particular case. My question is, Jay, if you don't mind, can you describe to us the manner in which that would happen? Is it called a directed verdict? Do I have that right?
Yeah, it is. In federal courts, judgment is a matter of law. But, I'm not crazy about technical terms, man. So let's just use the best phrase, throw it out of court. Just throw the case out of court. And here's how that happens. The judge in trials acts as a filter. Matt, he looks at the evidence, and he says, if he says no reasonable juror, that's the legal standard, no reasonable juror could find Trump guilty, then he has a legal duty to throw the case out of court. That's the standard. And, you can break it down a little bit more. Every crime has an element. There has to be substantial evidence of each element. But the standard is that no reasonable person could have found O.J. innocent. Oh, wait a minute. That was a different case. And it actually doesn't work that way. It only works with throwing a case out of court. And so if a judge looks at it and says, no reasonable person could find Donald Trump guilty of the crime of which he's charged, by law, the judge is supposed to throw that case out of court. But that's not going to happen here.
Because, you have no expectation that the judge will do any of that, just based on his prior actions and activity.
Right. Yeah, well, it's like the referees at Tuscaloosa. They don't call a fair game.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm told. That's what the Tennessee folk tell me all the time. All right, so hold your thought. We'll get to the next stage, and that is whether or not we believe that the defense will call any witnesses at all, what the risk is in that, and then whether or not Donald Trump will testify. Plus, many of you want me to ask Jay St. Clair this question, and here's the question. Michael Cohen testified earlier in the week that he secretly recorded his own client, Donald Trump, claiming that he did so for the benefit of Donald Trump. But a lot of us have questions about how in the heck that's legal and whether or not it violates attorney-client privilege. We'll ask Jay that question in a moment. It's 1:31 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, folks, Matt Murphy here. The Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project is celebrating 10 years of service to this community, and I'm so pleased to be able to talk with you about them and to encourage you to do as you can to give to a wonderful organization like the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project. Charlie Daniels and his manager, David Corlew, started the project 10 years ago in 2014. Their obvious and simple directive was to do what they can to help reassimilate and to help soldiers and members of our United States military who are returning to civilian life do so in the easiest way possible. After many years of service and for some multiple deployments, the journey home can be a complex process based on issues of being away from family, health, physical and mental health needs, education, employment, and other things. Just a few of the issues that returning vets face as they come back home. It is the passion of the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project to be a beacon of light to direct the veteran and their family to the best possible facility to make those needs met. The Charlie Daniels Project does this every single day. Once again, so proud to be affiliated with anything involving this project, and I encourage you, as you do your charitable giving, to consider giving to the Charlie Daniels Journey Home Project. Donate today at the CharlieDanielsJourneyHomeProject.org. We have Memorial Day coming up. We're remembering those that we lost in service to our country, and I encourage you to remember the CharlieDanielsJourneyHomeProject.org. All right, let's go. Let's jump on it. Jay St. Clair is with us. It is Friday. Tim writes in and says, Jay St. Clair, could the Trump defense team call Alvin Bragg to the stand? I don't think that that's possible, but I'll ask the question. We've got a couple of questions on the line as well as we continue with Jay St. Clair live from the track outside of Dawsonville, Georgia, as he prepares to do some practice today and a little bit of endurance racing tomorrow and Sunday. Jay, what's next steps then? If we agree, and I certainly will defer to your knowledge about this, and I will agree with you based on my examination of the case, that there's no way this particular judge is going to offer a summary judgment on it. What are the options for the defense? I mean, obviously they could provide witnesses or whatever. They could just rest, couldn't they?
That's right. Yeah, they don't have to put on any evidence. And many times in a criminal case, that's the smart thing to do. The prosecution has the burden of proof, Matt, and they have to have proof beyond a reasonable doubt that the crime was committed. That's a high standard. So, in a substantial number of criminal cases, they don't put on any witnesses. But here's what I would say about this, and particularly whether Trump will testify. I would say this: if he were not running for president, right, and if it's solely about what is best calculated to win the criminal case, I do not believe he would testify. But I think it's more important to Trump to win being president than it is to win this case. I really do. I think he'd take a guilty verdict if it guaranteed him becoming president. And so I think that's the way the conversation will happen, and that's the way the decision will be made. And so I think there's greater than a 50% chance that Trump will testify. Because hey, Bill, if his lawyers say, President Trump, do you want to testify or not? What do you think his answer would be?
Hell yeah, I do. Let's get up there and get some time on camera.
You're exactly right, Bill. There's no doubt about it. So that's going to be a really interesting call, Matt. And I can't predict with certainty what it's going to be, but I'll tell you, his lawyers don't want him to testify. He does. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it's his case.
So if the defense decided to put on no witnesses, they would still get an opportunity to offer a normal, typical closing statement, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And so they could look to in other words, they could look to the jury and explain why they did not present any witnesses.
No, they'll tell them exactly why they did. If that's what they choose to do, which I do not believe will be the case. I think what they'll do, if I were trying the case, what I would do is turn it back on what the only misdemeanor crime we know about. We still don't know what crime they're going to be charged with. But I'd go back and say that, Trump is not the one that made these accounting entries.
Right. Right.
He didn't even commit that crime. What I would do is go back and focus the case on what it's really about.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next big thing, man, is the jury charge. And that's a big, big deal. The judge will charge the jury. Here's what you have to decide in this case. And that's when maybe, finally, at the end, we're going to find out what the real felony crime is they're charging with.
Right at the end with the defense.
Here's the way it would be if he doesn't, man. It will be, okay, he's charged with doing this bookkeeping things to cover up some other crime. Now, we don't know what crime that is. It'll be up to y'all to decide if there was another crime, and if there was another crime, what that crime was. And so y'all can just pick whatever crime you want to. Surely the judge is not going to do that.
We would hope. I said earlier this week that I refuse to live in a world. You remember the Andy Griffith pickle episode?
Absolutely.
I just can't face the future of this world knowing that there's 8 jars of those pickles in it. Right?
So cucumbers.
I refuse to live in a world, Jay, where I believe that 12 individuals, no matter how much they hate Trump, I don't expect that all of them will vote to acquit him.
Right.
But I cannot believe that 12 of them would sit there and listen to what we've listened to over these last several weeks, and all of them decide that he's guilty of whatever it is they're charging him with. I mean, I have a hard time believing that.
Well, I refuse to believe that in the 21st century I can't drive 15 minutes to my home, even though there's a winter storm.
Where'd you spend the night that night, Jay?
In my car. It's just one of those things that never happens, man.
A lot of questions involving Michael Cohen and his ability to secretly record Donald Trump. He admitted this week, or they played, testimony, talked about testimony, that he recorded Donald Trump during a telephone conversation of his. And he said, it was very odd. He said that Donald Trump did not know that it was being recorded, but that he was doing so to protect Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know the answer to this, but many of my listeners have asked me to ask you, Jay, and that is that legal, and does that not violate some level of attorney-client privilege?
Yeah, so those are two different questions. Let's talk first about the legality of it. If it was in New York, I'm pretty sure New York is a one-party state. That is so long as one party of the conversation consents to its recording, then it's legal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think it was a crime. Then there's a second question of, does that violate attorney ethics? And I hadn't looked at the specific provision of the New York law, but I'll tell you this: any bar association would frown greatly on that. They would frown on one lawyer secretly recording another lawyer, and I've had that happen to me. So I don't believe it's a crime, but boy, it is a terrible act of a lawyer. It doesn't violate attorney-client privilege until he plays it to somebody else. If he just records it and puts it in the safe and nobody ever hears it,
mm-hmm.
then the privilege has not been broken, right? But if he plays it to somebody else, then that's absolutely violating it. The privilege is the client's. It's not the lawyer's, it's the client.
Mm-hmm.
And the lawyer can break the privilege only with the client's consent.
All right,
it's not a crime, but it's a violation of lawyer ethics.
In the Trump trial, my question, this comes from 0792. My question for Friday is, in the Trump trial, if the statute of limitations has run out and they have falsified evidence to bring him in court, can they be charged for filing false police reports and slander? Well, that's a very vague question. Hey, 0792. I'm gonna call a audible, and I'm gonna ask you to clarify your question. I don't know what falsification of evidence you are talking about when you say that they've done that in a court of law. I need you to.
Yeah, but there is this oddity about it, Matt. Right? He's trying to say that if you commit a misdemeanor to hide another misdemeanor, both of whom the statutes run, you still can be found guilty of a felony. A misdemeanor plus a misdemeanor to cover up the misdemeanor makes a felony. Well, that's like saying three rights make a left. I mean, it's odd. It's very odd.
I need to get my J question in. All right, this is, I believe, unrelated to the Trump trial, so this is nice. If a company gets hacked, mm-hmm. all customers' info, employee info, including finances, is the company required to let the customers and the employees know?
I think that's a state-specific thing, Matt. Most states have done that now. It certainly is best practice. We advise people about that all the time. Some states have laws on that. If they're asking in Tennessee, I confess to you, I just hadn't looked recently whether Tennessee has that law. But it absolutely is the best practice. And it's also the best practice to offer that identity theft protection.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't required by law, but it's certainly the best practice.
And certainly from a public relations standpoint, if a company gets hacked like that, a lot of times they're going to do that on their own just to protect themselves.
The first thing is, I'll say this, they don't tell here's the worst thing that can happen. They get hacked and they don't tell anybody.
Right.
And then they get their identities. Well, now, let's see, the problem there is not the hacking. It's like Watergate. It wasn't the burglary, it's the cover-up. And if they know that they've been hacked and that, your info's out there and they don't tell you, then that's negligence. That's a problem.
Keith is coming back to the Trump trial, and he wants to know, my question is, why is this being tried if it's a felony in the federal court when it's not in a federal court? In other words, the confusion is, and I think this goes back to confusion about what the underlying crime is, whether there's some suggestion that has been made on the part of the left, the Trump haters. Well, it's a state elections violation case is what they're suggesting, because they know if they say it's a federal elections violation, well, then you have a problem with jurisdiction, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, the reason it's in a state court is he's charged under state law. And so, they cannot at the end of the trial say, oh, by the way, we're really accusing him of violating the federal law. I mean, it gets thrown out every time. This judge may not throw it out, but the appeals court will. But so the charges of violating state law are tried in state court. Charges of violating federal law are in federal court. As far as we know, this case does not involve federal law.
Well, but as you and I have talked about many, many times, and I know this kind of enters my world, it goes away from the legal world and into the political world. I don't think any of this is about getting a successful verdict at the end of all of it. They just want a successful trial and perhaps a successful jury verdict. But I don't feel like smart people in New York City think this is going anywhere on appeal. Do you?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I don't think it ultimately matters to them whether it sticks or not. They're just trying to keep him from being elected president, man.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the way they do that's embarrassing, with all this porn star stuff. And the other part's keeping him from campaigning. And then in this just incredible, he's the Teflon president. He just keeps getting stronger.
Everything they do makes him more powerful. Bill's on the line with a question about lawsuits. Bill, you're on with our man, Jay St. Clair. What's your question, sir?
I got a question. I got a lawsuit against me for like $2.5 million and $5 million of punitive damages. It turns out that the lawsuit has to do with African artifacts and stuff that my uncle had acquired, but he acquired it through a nonprofit organization. And I didn't know it, but I've been part of this nonprofit organization now since 2006 in the state of Florida. I don't live in Florida. I live here in Tennessee. And then he closed it out just 2 years ago, making me the president, and my brother the vice president, my wife's the treasurer. And we've never been part of this. And he's worth millions of dollars now. And he was a Catholic priest, but I found out just recently in the past year, he's been living in California. He's been married for 20 years. And he collected all this money. And the thing about it is, what's being sued, is he gave me a bunch of stuff, this African artifact stuff some years back. And now he asked for it back. And I says, well, then you can pay me storage. And he says that that wasn't an agreement. I said, there wasn't an agreement that you were going to ask for it back either. It's just to go to the church where they can sell it for raffle. My question is, what should I do? His attorney says, just find out and give it to him.
Sir,
do you have an attorney, Bill?
If you've been sued for $2.5 million, the first thing you need to do very quickly is hire a lawyer.
What kind of lawyer do I get for this? I talked to one, and he's like 82 years old.
Hold on, Bill. I want Jay to say that again. Jay, what kind of lawyer should Bill get?
I'd get a really good one. I'd get somebody.
I don't mean to laugh. It's a very serious situation for you. And I'm sorry.
I've been searching for like months, and the only one I found was this guy that's 82 years old. And I gave him $2,000, and then now he says, I don't know if I want to take this case.
Have you actually been served with the papers?
Oh, yeah. And listen, I called up the state attendant, the Secretary of State in Florida, and asked them about me being on this nonprofit organization. And they looked it up. He says, yeah, but it's been dissolved. I said, if it's been dissolved, can I reinstate it? And they said, yeah, it just sent in the $420. So I did. Now I got a certificate that says that I'm the president again, and I've never been. And he actually had my grandmother on it as vice president. She was dead for 2 years. And I got the state of Florida.
Where do you live right now? Where do you live?
Tennessee.
Where do you live, Bill?
Tennessee, in Linville, Tennessee.
Okay. Have you ever lived in Florida?
No, I've never lived in Florida.
Yeah, see, they may not even have personal jurisdiction of you in Florida, Bill. I'm telling you, sir, you need to get a lawyer, and you need to get a good one.
A good one. So I just need to probably just put my house on.
What is there? I mean, this is obviously it's a civil suit against you, Bill, right?
Yes, sir. Okay,
so I mean, Jay, off the top of your head, do you know of any particular type of lawyer, just general practice, or?
No, you want to go to see. The problem is you're going to need somebody in Florida. Do you have any family in Florida? Where in Florida is the suit filed?
No, it's filed here in Tennessee because in Giles County because they come by and got all this artwork and stuff. I mean, he was selling pictures of Mother Teresa for $30,000 to Mel Gibson and stuff. And
Here's what I
found letters.
suggest you do. Yeah, here's what I suggest you do, sir. You can find my office contact information on the internet. It's J. St. Clair. I'm more of a sinner than a saint, but my name is Saint. Look for J. St. Clair. You'll see my email address. Send me an email. I will do my due diligence and send you my best. You need a lawyer there in the county where you are. I will snoop around and use the sources I have, and I will send you my recommendation for the best attorney for you to hire for this case.
All right, so it's J. St. Clair, like Saint and Clair?
ST. Yeah, STCLAIR.
Okay.
And yeah, if you and I know from personal experience, Bill, if you type his name in, you will get him. He'll pop right up the Littler Mendelsohn site there from Birmingham, Alabama. Jay, you're so good to help him out. Thank you for that.
Well, here's the deal, man. When I get up to the pearly gates, St. Peter's going to open the Book of Life. And over on the right side, there's going to be a lot of big black X's. So I'm trying to get some check marks and put it on the left-hand side. And I figure every time I do this, I get a check mark.
Well, you're good. You're good to help him out. Bill, contact Jay. He's a good man, and he'll do some thorough due diligence and get you to the right person. Jay, have fun on the track. Thanks for spending an hour with us. I appreciate you getting out of the race car to talk to us on the phone.
Always my pleasure, man.
Take care. Have fun. Drive fast. Don't get into the gravel. We'll be back in a moment. It's 1:53. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. First Amendment Freestyle Friday in progress. Fridays are always a little different on the Murphy Show. As we advance our way toward the weekend, hope you've got big weekend plans. We advance our way toward Mac Morey's newscast, and then after that, it is an edition of Friday Mac Attack. Cannot wait to find out what we are drafting today. Actually, I already know. Bell, you got your draft all ready to go, buddy?
Indeed.
That prepared, huh? I feel good about this one. I like the draft topic. We'll unveil that next, right after the real news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, plus your telephone calls on the way as we make our way to the weekend on Super Talk 99.7. Stand by.
I'm Mac Morey with your top story. 69 degrees, cloudy day, possibility for showers and thunderstorms later on this day. Some fog tonight as well. We'll let you know all about it in our complete weather forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. The rain has finally let up in southeast Texas, which has been battered by severe weather for the second time in as many weeks. Jim Ryan says at least 4 people lost their lives in last night's storm.
Major problem last week. This time, hurricane-force winds have blown out windows in high-rise buildings in downtown Houston and knocked down massive electric transmission towers. Nearly 800,000 homes and businesses are without electricity, and restoring service will be difficult.
For many, many people, it's going to be weeks and not days.
Harris County Chief Executive Lena Hidalgo says damage extends from Houston all the way to the Gulf Coast.
And back here in Tennessee right now, a note was found inside a bathroom of Greenbrier Middle School today threatening violence against that school. The note was written on the bathroom wall, and it said, quote, "I'm shooting the school up Friday." Officials say no credible threat was found, but police presence at the school was increased. Some parents elected to have their children stay home for the day. And workers at a pair of Mercedes-Benz plants in Alabama could give United Auto Workers Union organizers their second victory in the South. Dave Packer.
The votes have been cast, and we'll soon find out whether workers at 2 Alabama Mercedes-Benz factories have voted to unionize. It was just a month ago that Volkswagen assembly workers in Tennessee voted to join the UAW. In the past, the union has had little success organizing plants in the South, which mostly build cars for foreign automakers. However, that could be changing as workers see significant gains achieved in recent strikes against the big 3 U.S. automakers by UAW workers.
And that is the latest news. Weather on the way. I'm Mac Morey, WTN News.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy here for U.S. Pest. U.S. Pest is simply the best when it comes to protecting you from the bugs and other creepy crawlies that want inside of your home. And I encourage you to contact U.S. Pest for a free consultation. They will come to your home, and for no charge to you, they will give you a pest inspection and tell you what's going on. And they'll tell you the truth about the matter. I mean, if you've got things coming into your house, you need to know about that, whether it's roaches, spiders. Goodness me, you don't need the spiders or some of those long, creepy, crawly things. I mean, they're not centipedes, but what are they called? Earworms or whatever they're called. Whatever they're called, they're nasty, and I don't want them anywhere near me or my family or my people. And the dogs are no good. The dogs don't help. They run from them. I want U.S. Pest. J.K. and Erica and the rest of the team, they're great at what they do. Bugs are found in the South. It's part of living in the state of Tennessee. You need to protect yourself from them. Do that with U.S. Pest. Plus, they've got the best cicada game going if you check them out online on their Facebook page, U.S. Pest. Go to uspest.com. That's uspest.com. Tell J.K. and Erica I sent you to the one and only U.S. Pest. I believe in them, and they believe in this country. And I love how patriotic they are. U.S. born and bred. It's U.S. Pest. 590-1260. That's 590-1260. Here we are, and here we go. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Conveniently enough, my name is Matt Murphy. It's episode 573 of our proceedings on this show. It is also LFT 78. LFT 78. LFT standing for Locks for Trump. Day 78 of my declaration that I will not be cutting my hair until we have a new president-elect. Bell K's behind the glass, making sure that everything that comes out of our speaker sounds as good as humanly possible. We appreciate him. Those little bugs, Jesse tells me, I apologize. I said earworms. I don't know why. It's silverfish is what I was talking about. The ones with the really, really long legs that you see, and, and they're creepy, and you stomp on them or whatever. And some people take them. I mean, some people are like, oh, no, take it out. Whatever. Goodbye. Hey, McMaury, how are you?
Hello. Happy Friday, man.
Happy Friday to you. How you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing all right,
You feel good? You got you, what is that, a Clementine? Tangelo?
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah, look, the cuties. Yep.
Oh, yeah, those are great. Can I see that?
Please. No. Never mind.
Hey, Belle, how's it going over there?
Good. We
Friday.
got, what is it, about 2 hours before my vacation starts?
It's nice. That's nice.
I forgot about that. Now today starts making sense. He's like kind of there, it's kind of not there. I mean,
No, sir. No, sir.
What do you mean, no, sir?
I checked out before I woke up.
I checked out like 3 days ago. You just didn't know it. All right, so it's one of, you know what? I feel a little odd how this has happened over the years that we've been here and we've been doing the show. Our two favorite segments are on the same day. And it's Friday and Friday Mac Attack.
It's a great day.
Does anybody else find it really weird when you say the years that we've been here?
I know. Whoa.
It feels like you just got here like 6 months ago.
I know. It does feel weird.
That's weird.
It's been 2.5 years. It feels even more odd that the listeners constantly tell me that my favorite segment's Friday or my favorite segment's Friday Mac Attack. And I think, why is it that people's favorite segment has something to do with other people, not me?
Yeah.
That's your fault. You brought them in. You created the segments.
Well, one way or the other, we do have an intro, and it's called Friday Mac Attack for a reason, because it's his segment. Let's go. Woo! Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
So last I checked, Scotty Sheffler, after getting arrested this morning, was 4 under par today and is in third place.
He's killing it. Let's go, Scotty.
After in the presser that he does after the round, he'll probably be like, "Oh, I could have done better. I just got a lot on my mind."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
I admit
Distracted.
I was a little bit distracted. I only birdied the first hole and then parred several other holes. But what do you make of that? I mean, have you?
I mean, he did do something illegal.
Apparently
he drove around.
Yeah, and he was told to, but he drove around a bus.
And there was a car crash scene. Was it fatal?
Yeah.
Well, the car crash happened about 5 a.m. This was a couple of hours later.
Gotcha.
But the traffic was backed up, and the story that I looked up this morning. The PGA contacted the cop and said, "We know you're dealing with a fatal accident. It's a pedestrian, and God love those folks. And,
of course.
Prayers to the family. But we need to get our players in. We need to get our workers in. Is there a way to do that?" And they told them the way to do that. And Sheffler felt like he was following those directions. Then at some point, a cop starts yelling at him. Yep. He thinks he's doing the right thing. He doesn't stop immediately and kind of drug the guy. Stopped and was immediately arrested, handcuffed and whatnot. So I figure he's going to buy the guy some new pants, going to pay for his medical, sign a couple of golf balls.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
And we're done.
We'll work this out.
That's right after he hoists the PGA Championship trophy. Let me tell you something.
And somebody might want to change the procedure and tell the police not to jump into a moving car.
Well, there's that. Let me tell you, I don't know if golf will get a bounce from this, but as a golf aficionado, I started watching golf because of Tiger Woods back in the 90s. I started playing golf because of Tiger Woods in the 1990s. And we have not seen dominance in golf by anybody since Tiger Woods in the 1990s, like Scotty Sheffler is dominating the game.
Yeah, these
Just
past
incredible.
2 years now.
Was Tiger why you started playing, or were you already playing?
I started playing because of my father-in-law, because I wanted to go drink Bloody Marys on Saturday mornings.
Sounds fun.
That sounded like a good idea to me.
Yeah, walking outside.
And that's what he did. So, so that kind of why I did, but it kind of coincided with.
So he was already playing, and you kind of got into it to spend time with him.
Yeah.
And is he pretty good?
No.
So you guys just go out there and drink and knock balls around, basically.
Like 90% of the people who golf. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you, Maury.
That's about it.
Yes, Bell. What sounds wrong about that?
Nothing. I was just asking. I'll refrain from interjecting anymore.
No. Yeah, no. None of us are very good. Bob has his moments. I have my moments. You make a birdie here and there. You make a par here or there.
Yeah.
You make a lot of double bogeys. Yeah, that's all good. There might be a few double bogeys in today's draft. I don't know.
Ooh, I'm excited. This is a good draft.
I think it's a good draft, too. I'm excited about it. A lot of different ways to go on this. Tell everyone what we're doing and what the draft topic is.
And I came up with this topic yesterday. It wasn't even...
You're very proud of yourself. I know you are.
Yeah, usually it's 155, and I'm like, hey, guys, I think this is it. What if we drafted the best juices or something stupid? So today is actually a little bit better.
Great. Very underrated. Very underrated. I think I could get it as an undrafted free agent.
Probably could.
But great, very underrated. By the way, if we're going to do that, let's just go ahead.
Give me Apple. But anyways, the draft today is the best nicknames of all time. At first I was thinking athlete nicknames, and I'll probably draft mostly athletes, but let's just leave it to best nicknames. So entertainers, musicians, whatever, the best nicknames in history.
The best nicknames of all time.
Yeah, some good ones.
Will be drafted here today. On Friday Mac Attack, the 2024 draft starts when you hear the music. All right, there you go. So I have the draft cards here in my hands. One says 1, one says 2, one says 3. Bell, I oftentimes allow you to select first, but I don't know if I ought to do that today.
Why not? It's always played out to your benefit.
That's true. All right, true. So which one you want?
I'll take the one on your left.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. Bell K, you are drafting.
Woo! Number one.
Oh, cool.
There we go.
Finally worked out for me.
Finally got one.
All right, give me that one.
All right, there you go. There's your draft. You are number 3. Ha-ha! I am number 2. So the draft order goes like this. Bell K, Matt Murphy, and Mac Maury. You are welcome to participate by joining in on the super text line. Members Nutrition Super Text line up and running 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. Scotty Sheffler, 4 under through 15. He is 8 under for the tournament, tied for 5th. Bell K, it is your honor, sir.
Well, yesterday I chastised you for ruining the suspense on it, but the number 1 pick has got to be Cougar Chow.
Wow, let's go! Let's go! Yes.
What a wasted pick. They did not invite him to the draft ceremony. They did not ask him to be in the green room. They left him at home. They begrudgingly sent a camera to his location just in case somebody might pick him in the 4th round.
What's up, ladies?
It was expected to be that he would be left on the table. Maybe he's Mr. Irrelevant. Maybe he's an undrafted free agent. No one expected him to go in the 1st round, much less number 1.
I'll shock the nation for you, Bell. I'll make it worth it. Let's go.
Why can't you support your guy there, Murphy? Why do you got to dump on him?
You made the nickname.
I'm about to tell you. I did give you the nickname.
Did give you that.
I'm about to tell you. A number of ways to go here.
A lot of.
I hesitate not to go in this direction for the 1st round, but I think it'll be taken by McMorray if I leave it open. So it's the most obvious sports nickname to me.
Dang it.
It's Tiger Woods.
Good.
It's
okay.
Tiger
Wasn't going to pick that.
Woods.
What is his real first name?
Eldrick.
Eldrick, okay.
Nice.
It is
nice.
Tiger Woods, who at one point was one of the best-known individuals in, I know people are like, well, that's kind of his name now, and I get that. Nobody uses his real name, but it is a nickname.
That's a nickname. Oh, that's what it is.
It is Tiger Woods.
Love it. That's a great pick.
Thank you.
I'm going to go similarly. This is an athlete, and we all know it as his name. Give me Magic Johnson.
Oh, see, I thought you were going somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I
Yeah,
thought
give
you
me
were going somewhere else.
Irvin Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Magic Johnson's a great pick,
It's a great
too.
one.
Great pick,
Magic.
too. Bell, round number 2 has commenced. Can I get the pick is in thing?
Oh,
please?
yeah, I like
really
that. I like that.
All right. And for the 2nd round, first selection in the 2024 Best Nicknames of All-Time Draft, Bell K.
There was 2 people I was going to go with, and Mac might have known one. I don't think he'll know the other guy, but I don't think he knows the nickname.
Okay.
But Old Blood and Guts.
Old Blood and Guns. I know.
George S. Patton. General George S. Patton.
That's
Old Blood and Guts.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty BA.
Mm-hmm. That is badass.
Yeah.
I said it.
I mean, it is.
I said it.
It is.
I'll tell you what. I
like that one.
As an intentional way to steal Bell K's thunder, I don't know that I would have necessarily picked this next one second, but the backstory is so good regarding this nickname. This is the one that I'm going with. I'm going with Stonewall Jackson.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Do you know the backstory of Stonewall Jackson's
No.
name? It was at the First Battle of Bull Run, which is also known as First Manassas. In 1861, the Confederate lines were crumbling. The Confederate troops were retreating. Everything was going wrong for the Confederate Army. They were being overwhelmed. The troops of South Carolina, commanded by General Barnard B. Jr., were overwhelmed. And as they were fleeing, he was trying to collect them back together. And he said, by God, men, look at Jackson. He stands there like a stone wall. And they gathered themselves up. They recollected themselves to battle further.
Woo!
Come on.
Yeah.
By God, men, look at Jackson. He stands there like a stone wall.
Wow.
He'd already had his hand shot, the middle finger of his hand shot, too. So, Stonewall Jackson.
I like that one.
That's my
a
second
lot.
pick. Thank you.
Love that. Wow.
All right. Your selection.
Patriotic picks. Now I got to follow up those. Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to go sports.
Yeah, exactly.
NBA.
Yeah,
Don't let me down, Cougar Chow. Don't let me down.
Pistol Pete's a good one. Give me another NBA player. You see him on TNT on a weekly basis. Give me Chuck, the round mound of rebound. Charles Barkley. That's a great one. That's a great
round
one.
mound of rebound. I like that.
Yeah,
That's good.
love that. Great
That's
guy.
good. Chuck's a good guy.
Yeah.
So you can
Great guess, too.
You can kind of see us
Get him back.
Lucky.
You
Great
can kind of
guess.
see us floating into our little areas of personal
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
desire.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Mine's history, yours was history, and his was
That's just
sports.
speaking of sports, yeah.
And 2 basketball ones, by the way.
I know. Might be 3. Might be 3.
Bell, let's start round 3. What do you got?
I learned this one as a kid, and it's what made me understand what a nickname was. And again, it goes back to history. Wild Bill Hickok.
Wild Bill Hickok.
It's just always stuck with me because of learning. I remember being a kid going, your name can't be Wild. And that's when the teacher had to explain to me what a nickname was.
It's interesting. You and I are reflecting very much similar patterns here. Because I had one that is going to harken back to the same type of time in history, although he was a very different time in terms of when he was alive. But he did a lot of those Westerns that were set in the times of Wild Bill Hickok. I'm going to go with John Wayne, a.k.a. the Duke.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how do you... I should have thought of that one.
Come on.
That's a great one.
I don't even know how he got that nickname.
I was actually down to trying to choose between Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane.
If you want Calamity Jane, you can still have Calamity Jane. Dang it. You ruined it, Bell. I've got a long list of honorable mentions that we're going to get to after the draft is complete.
Yes. Lots of honorable mentions here. A lot I could go with. I'm sticking with basketball here. It could be Michael L. Jordan. It could be White Chocolate. It could be Wilt the Stilt. I got a good story about the mailman with my parents that we should talk about later, but I'm going
Pistol Pete.
It could be Pistol Pete. I'm going to go with, and I don't think you guys would know this one, but I just think it is legitimately the best nickname. It happens to be one of my favorite players of all time, too. Paul Pierce for the Boston Celtics, his nickname, The Truth. The Truth.
It's not the truth.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Oh, well.
I mean, there's
anticlimactic, but
close. So here's the deal. So in the selection process, and those of you at home that are throwing out names, and Mickey, you just came up with one that I had not thought of, and that is a pretty dadgum good one. That's really good. Mickey's is really good. Mickey says Jack the Ripper. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
That's so good.
Nice.
That's so good.
And hey, Matt, as far as John Wayne went, a local fireman at the station on the route they took to school started calling him Little Duke because he never went anywhere without his huge Airedale Terrier, Duke.
Well, there you go.
And
That's
he
cool.
preferred Duke to his real name of Marion.
I would too.
Yeah, I would too. Marion Morrison, I think, was his name before he became John Wayne. So a lot of criticism over your three basketball selections.
That's fine.
Look, I just report the news. That's fine. This is your draft. This is your
I'm
draft.
the general manager.
This is your draft.
Okay, you guys didn't get hired.
This is your draft. And if you want to pick, what was his name?
It's Paul Pierce.
The truth over Tiger Woods. That's fine. I mean, that's fine. It's your
I'm just
choice.
proud that none of us picked Kanye's nicknames.
What?
Yeezy.
Yeezy, yay. Yeah.
So this shows you that maybe this category was a little too big for the draft.
I agree.
Because we just did the draft and nobody picked Babe Ruth.
Almost, I thought. Do you get the Babe or do you get the Sultan of SWAT? Which one would you pick?
That's one of the things, right?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or the Great Bambino.
Those were three
Babe
awesome
was
ones.
effectively used as his name, whereas the Sultan of SWAT was a nickname. Yeah.
He's the Sultan of SWAT.
Johnny Hustle, a.k.a. That's Johnny Bench. No. Charlie Hustle is what we're thinking of. I think you're thinking of Charlie Hustle there.
I know
Charlie Hustle was Pete Rose. Dr. J is a good one.
Dr. J is a great one.
I thought of Vlad the Impaler, who was the inspiration for Dracula. Yeah.
Vlad the Impaler.
Nothing?
Nope,
Okay, fine.
nope.
Fine, people. That's whatever.
Meadowlark Lemon,
learn
that
your
would have been
history.
a good nickname.
Maybe less basketball, more history for you.
This is history, man. Come on.
It's his history. It's the history he cares about.
There's a good one with my parents with Karl Malone. My parents were watching the Jazz, I guess, in the 90s. And, Karl Malone was the mailman.
Mm-hmm.
And so they called him that. The mailman scores for two or whatever it is. My mom goes, oh, that's so nice. Like they're mentioning his previous career, like he's a blue collar. My dad's like, no. He always delivers. He's the mailman.
No, this isn't a...
No,
they're not talking about what he used to do in
FedEx on the side.
Okay.
Air Jordan, is he a pilot?
Some of the one suggestion that we've gotten more than any outside of the Duke on the Super Text line was the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt. Absolutely. What a fabulous nickname that was. Some of the others that we're getting. I never thought that Air Jordan was that. Look, he's the greatest. You could go greatest players and what their nicknames were, right? Tiger Woods, Babe Ruth, Air Jordan. I just don't think Air Jordan is that significant of a nickname for me.
If you combined it all with like the logo and the shoe and him flying, that is awesome. It's incredible. Right. But also like his nickname's kind of MJ.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
When you split the nicknames, when you go Babe, the Great Bambino, the Sultan of SWAT, there's too many. I'll say the greatest baseball nickname of all time is Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt.
And
that's
I
awesome.
will say
when
that
he's coming up to the plate, the big hurt.
The big hurt.
Come on.
That's awesome.
the truth has nothing on Magic Johnson.
That's just the term.
Oh, yeah. Great for you to listen to the segment there, Bell, because
It was my number one
Magic
pick.
was his number one pick.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like number one. There's a
Well, no,
reason
you're right.
that number three should be at number 3.
I called him out. I exposed him. I'm sorry.
Please.
I'm such a jerk. I'm such a jerk. A lot of suggestions going on the line, and we cannot get to any of them because we're out of time. It's 2:25 on Super Talk. Friends, I encourage you, especially you fellas in the listening audience, to listen up for the next minute or so as I explain to you why I think it's so important for you to contact the Tennessee Men's Clinic, especially if you're feeling run down or sluggish, if you don't feel like the guy that you used to be, if you don't have the energy or the vitality to get the job done, whether that job is outside in the yard or at the gym or getting work done or even in the bedroom. That's right, I said it, in the bedroom. Friends, Tennessee Men's Clinic is here for you. It's as simple as this. They want to solve the problem in front of you. And if the issue is energy, motivation, or drive, if you don't feel the same that you have felt, a lot of times men whistle past that graveyard. We don't get our numbers checked. You need to know certain numbers in your life. You need to know your blood pressure. You need to know your cholesterol, and you need to know that T level. And if you don't, get it down pat right now by contacting the Tennessee Men's Clinic today. Schedule an appointment with one of their qualified urologists. Allow them to go over what's going on with you. Allow them to find out some of those numbers and figure out a plan of action that's going to get you back to life, get you back to vitality, and get you back to doing the things that you want to do in your life. Tennessee Men's Clinic, online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com, or stop by for an appointment today. They have 2 locations to serve you. One's in Midtown, the other's in Cool Springs. Beautiful facilities both. 615-208-9090. 615-208-9090 for the Tennessee Men's Clinic.
We hear about that man who broke into then Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's home in 2022, plus some Nashville money news. 2:30 Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Thank you much, Mr. Morey. A lot of people criticizing our lack of selection of several names. Well, not criticizing so much as suggesting. The great communicator, Ronald Reagan. I mentioned the great communicator to Mac Moore yesterday when he brought up this subject. I thought a tricky dick, too. He's a modern political figure. Dick Nixon, also known as Richard Nixon. Fry J did not get drafted. Several people noted.
Fry J.
And Fry J maybe should have been drafted, and then a lot of others. We'll get to maybe some of those suggestions coming up in just a moment. We'll also talk to you about what happened in the halls of the House of Representatives yesterday. It's just an absolute embarrassment that these are the people that we have elected to represent us. I don't care what your political affiliation is. What happened in committee in the Capitol of the United States House of Representatives is an abomination. These are children acting as representatives of us who are fighting like children. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene, AOC, and others. I'll play you the audio in just a moment. And once again, I don't even care what your political affiliation is. Act like a damn grown-up. Is this really doing the job of the American people, getting into these arguments? If you've not heard it, you will not believe it. And we'll share it with you next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
2:31, I'm Mac Maury with your top story. 70 degrees and a cloudy day in Nashville. Could get wet later. Possible showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. Weather forecast on the way in 2 minutes. The man who broke into then Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's home in 2022 and beat her husband with a hammer is heading to federal prison. He was sentenced in San Francisco today. Alex Stone.
David DePape admitted in court he broke into the Pelosi home searching for Nancy Pelosi to hold her hostage and to interrogate her about the 2016 election. Now a judge giving him 30 years in federal prison. Sergio Lopez is acting FBI Assistant Special Agent in charge.
The brutal attack on Paul Pelosi in his home was not only an attack on an individual, but an assault on the very principles and safety and civility that form the bedrock of our democracy.
And next week, jury selection begins in the state case against DePape. Money news here in Nashville. The Tennessean says the National Association of Realtors chief economist Lawrence Yoon was amongst presenters at a conference at Trevecca University yesterday on future real estate trends. Yoon says Nashville's doing better than the rest of the nation, which saw pending sales drop 6% in the first part of the year. Yoon said rent is rising nationwide at a rate about 5.7%. But he expects the costs in Nashville to fall in the coming months because of an oversupply of apartments. That is the latest news. Weather on the way next. I'm Mac Maury, WTN News.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Savory Spice. Let's talk about the locations first and then what they do at both locations. One is in Charlotte Pike on Charlotte Pike in L&L Market in Nashville. The other just off the square in Franklin. If you've been to the square, you've probably seen the sign for Gray's Pharmacy. They're right beside that sign. Savory Spice is a locally owned shop. They're good folks. Holly and David are very intelligent about all things spices, and they can help you no matter your level of expertise in the kitchen. So they talk to newbies who had never really ventured into the pots and the pans and the spices and the salts and the peppers and all of those types of things. They can walk you through it. They'll feed you baby birds. But if you're an experienced chef and you know your way around the kitchen, then you know you want excellent spices to truly up your food game, and you get them at Savory Spice. Savory Spice provides a lot of different types, international as well as national flavors, and they get it all fresh, they get it all in, and they know what they're doing when it comes to Savory Spice. So they also have gift ideas for you, and it's grilling season. And I remind you about these Spice and Easy packets, which are just awesome. Make it so easy for the busy folks in your life that do the cooking. All you do is take this packet, buy the ingredients right there on the front, and off you go. They'll tell you the exact time it takes to prepare as well. Savory Spice, go by and see them today. Tell them Murphy sent you. Hey, friends, Matt Murphy, the Dr. Gill Center for Back, Neck, and Chronic Pain Relief is located in Franklin, and we appreciate you stopping by. So many of you with pain in your life, whether it's back pain, neck pain, knee pain, hip pain, elbow pain, have already contacted the Dr. Gill Center and have scheduled your appointment. And I thank you for that, and I think you'll thank me for recommending the Dr. Gill Center because they are the best in the business at what they do, and that is to alleviate pain without needing pills, without needing needles, and without considering surgery. But if you've not made that appointment yet, what are you waiting for? What if I told you that there was a possibility with a few short treatments that you could be back to life again, that you could be back at the golf course again, that you could be doing yard work again without pain in your back, in your neck, in your knees, in your hips, in your elbows, or in your joints? It's possible. The Dr. Gill Center can help. Call Dr. Wendy or Dr. D or Dr. V or Dr. Gill himself and find out more at the Dr. Gill Center for Back, Neck, and Chronic Pain Relief. 615-882-4838. 615-882-4838. The Dr. Gill Center for Back, Neck, and Chronic Pain Relief in Franklin. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Matt Murphy in the Matt Murphy Show until 3 o'clock. Brian Wilson comes up at that time. We'll check in with Brian, see what he has on the docket for a Friday edition. No doubt there will be a Phone Your Farm Friday session or two scheduled. I have full confidence in Brian Wilson in that regard. We'll find out what else is going on. I don't doubt that Brian will have a commentary or two or three or eight about this little exchange that happened in the House of Representatives this week. We're just not sending our best and our brightest anymore. Marjorie Taylor Greene, y'all can defend her all you want. She's performative in her nature, And I do not think she's good for conservatism in America. I don't. It's up to her own district to vote her in office. It is up to her own district to figure out where they are on it. And it is up to me to have my own opinion on it. And I have my own opinion on it. I do not believe that she puts her country in front of herself. Here's the exchange between Marjorie Taylor Greene and several Democrats in committee in the House of Representatives.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What? Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here.
Okay, so Thomas Massey is I think this is Thomas Massey, who is the chairman of the committee. They're discussing the potential impeachment of Merrick Garland for, I think this was for the refusal to release some of the documentation involving Joe Biden's conversation with Special Counsel Robert Hur, which would be very embarrassing for Joe Biden, obviously, but it continues.
Well, you the one talking about,
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Okay, so the first shot over the bow was for Marjorie Taylor Greene to take a shot of the regarding the fake eyelashes.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about,
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order. Mr. Chairman,
that's beneath even you
the order of your committee. Order.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you?
Okay, there's nothing more awful and annoying than listening to AOC try to act tough and righteously indignant. Just shut up. Just all of you, just shut up.
Physical appearance of another person.
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aww.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
It's like they're trying to out-tough one another.
I'll come down there and scratch your eyes out.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Stop
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aww.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play,
baby girl. I don't think
we are going to move.
I mean, what are we doing?
And we're going to take your words down.
I second that motion. So who will have to pay? Okay. Ms. Greene agrees to strike her words.
I believe she's
okay. So the whole thing is that they're taking what she said about the eyelashes off the record, out of the record, and for some reason, some on the committee think that Marjorie Taylor Greene has to actually apologize in order to accomplish that, which she doesn't.
No.
Perry, okay, hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Greene
I'm not
Well,
apologizing.
then
okay,
you're
reserve the right to
object.
I am not apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman.
And I'm sorry, I think I said Thomas Massey. It's actually James Comer. My apologies.
The minority.
It's pretty self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not. You don't have enough intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr.
Oh, and now we're talking about everybody's intelligence.
Okay, move to strike the.
I move to strike the lady's words.
I move to strike the lady's words again.
That's two requests to strike.
Oh, they cannot take the words.
There's another motion to strike her words again. Please
get
your members under control.
Here's the correct parliamentary. Ms. Greene, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike my words, but I'm not apologizing.
Without objection.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Okay, it seems like they got a little order and then it moved on to this because it devolved again.
Who's?
It's me.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
What?
He said, my favorite is James Comer. He said,
what now?
A what now? She said a bleach blonde, bad butch body is what she said.
Miss Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
A what now? What?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's a.
I want to strike words too. I want to say something nasty and then have my word struck, and then she says something nasty and have my word struck.
Part of the.
I got to say, this is actually refreshing because at least they're being honest about what they think of each other and what they think of what they're supposed to be doing there. And I don't. If I was a Democrat, I'd be like, I don't want those. Don't strike that from the record. I want her on record as to how she acts.
Right. That's exactly.
Trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike those
I had no idea
words.
what you just said.
James Comer, I have no idea what you just said. I think it's just pretty clear, James. I think it's just pretty clear.
Point of order.
Who's?
It's me.
I'm just going to let it go.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personality.
Okay, can I just say before we move on with this clip that of all of this stupidity of this exchange, Crockett actually, I have a little modicum of respect because she came back to it and said, hey, I'm just trying, it's like me, Belle and I getting into a fight about something. And I was like, I'm just trying to understand. I'm not talking about anybody in the room. But if I was going to smack some bearded, long-haired, Cobra, she's like not talking about them, but talking
she's
about
not addressing Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's addressing the chair.
Right.
But she's sideswiping her on the way there.
And then he says,
Who's? Miss Crockett.
I'm just curious,
I don't
just
know
to
what that
better
means.
understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
And by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you're going to start all of this crap by bringing up somebody's eyelashes, don't get so butthurt when they come back at you and talk about you.
I think that's a part of it.
Trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike those
I had no idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just said
You just voted to do
Y'all did it first, so you don't
just
talk about
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do.
Proceeding.
So I'm trying to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Miss
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And
yelling.
You don't want
calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk
Please calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can we
come
stand
and talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, Chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
I mean, you just heard 3 minutes from the halls of Congress in a House committee hearing managed by Chairman James Comer. You proud of your government? I don't care. Republican, you proud of them? You proud of that? We have a lot of fun on this show. I yell a lot on this show. You proud of that? Diane's got a thought. Hey, Diane, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Would the reference to butch not be a derogatory slang for someone's identity?
Probably.
Okay. I just thought of that and thought it was very inappropriate.
Well, I mean, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene commenting on other people's eyelashes is stupid too.
Oh, I think, the two of them together were very
and
immature.
AOC with her screechy voice. And look, I thank you, Diane. I understand that a lot of people fall on party lines when it comes to what they criticize and what they think's funny. I can't help. I mean, I'm all about having a good time too. And look, if you want to descend into chaos, that's a great way of going about it. But I just kind of shook my head. It just struck me as embarrassing, the whole thing. 249 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Talk 99.7 WT, and just to clean that up a little bit because I was kind of all over the place. That was the House Oversight Committee. It was last night. It was James Comer as chairman. I think I erroneously said Thomas Massey, and my apologies for that. And it was just absolute chaos, and it's an embarrassment to the system. But what should we expect from some of these folks? Marjorie Taylor Greene, AOC, Representative Crockett, and others to speak on these and other things. And also, I think there's some breaking news going on in the Georgia case, and I'm trying to get some clarity on this right now, but I've seen a couple of reports. And, Brian, I don't know if you're looking at this. Brian Wilson joins us from The Drive, where apparently there is a decision that is being made about whether or not Fani Willis can continue in the appeal of this case, and I believe some decisions are being made right now as we speak.
I'll have to get on that. I have not seen that. It's the last minute, but I will tell you, everything around his legal problems seems to be falling apart, including the big trial that's been going on in New York. I mean, I'm going to break down some of the testimony yesterday, and it sounds like that they have made a case that proves that Michael Cohen is a bona fide liar. He cannot help but lie. He's a pathological liar. And I think that really hurts their case. And most of the legal analysts say that that probably should have had a lot of sway with the jury. But I can't not go on without going back to that stuff you were talking about a moment ago. Oh, my gosh.
It's so embarrassing.
Well, but my favorite part is...
what now?
Me too. But
James Comer, I said, well, his head was like, what the hell is going on here?
What now?
Is he not speaking for the rest of the United States of America, the world, when he says that?
Oh my! Yeah, I've covered a lot of hearings. I've never seen one quite like that. You know, there used to be two guys, Leahy and Hatch, Senator Leahy and Senator Hatch. They've both served at various times as the chairman and ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. They hated each other. And so, but they were cool about it, you know, like they'd come in and they'd sit down, and while, you know, there was chaos in the room and, you know, the cacophony that precedes a hearing, a lot of noise in the room, they would always like trade these horrible insults under their breath to each other. And nobody in the room was picking it up. I found out about this, and I set up with a set of headphones so I could hear what they were saying to each other, because the microphones would occasionally pick it up. And I ran that in a story when they were like an old married couple going at each other. And usually it's all done, you know, well, the honorable gentleman is an asshole. You know, I just said, excuse me. I hope you caught that.
He got it. He got it.
Good. Thank you.
He got it.
The only time we have to use the little button is on me sometimes.
That's funny. Oh, well, that made my weekend, Brian. Thank you.
Well, let's see. If I'm allowed to go forward with my show, we'll start with the Trump trial here in just a couple of moments.
Well, God bless you, Brian, for making me laugh. That's so good. Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson's coming up in just a moment with The Drive. No cursing, he promises. On Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Mac Morris Newscast. Have a great weekend, folks.